more support. We need people to buy the books and videos, not just because it supports this operation and what we do, but also because these videos are powerful. They are truth. I mean, Terror Storm is the best government-sponsored terror film out there, not just about 9/11, but about the history of it. I mean, it wakes people up with all the admissions. Once you can show somebody that the government is criminal and has staged terror over and over and over again, or Endgame, where we show how the government has tested chemicals, biologicals, radiologicals on citizens over and over and over again. Once you do that, it's over. You win their mind over. They unlock their brains. They now see the truth. And then in the next part of the film, we get into how 9/11 is an inside job. But the first two-thirds are about other government-sponsored terror events. And that film is so good, so important, so well done. Myself and Rob Jacobson and Aaron Dykes busted our butts to make that film. 3 guys, and Mike McWhorter was the graphics guy, did a great job. I mean, that is a powerful film that unlocks minds. And what a lot of critics do, instead of use the film, wake people up, they say, there's pyramids and all-seeing eyes in it. It's subliminal. Yeah, he should have done this in his film. There's nothing subliminal about having an all-seeing eye on the screen for 20 seconds saying the New World Order. We're showing you their symbol. If I made a film about the Nazis and I showed you a swastika, if I showed you a swastika taking over Europe, that wouldn't mean I was a Nazi. And then people lie and say that we're covering up for Israel with the USS Liberty. What type of disinfo is that? We show that Israel premeditatedly attacked the ship to blame it on Egypt and launch World War III right out of Operation Northwood, just a few years after Gulf of Tonkin. But we show what the admirals and the judge advocate generals and the people on the ship say, that they believe and know that LBJ was in control of the ship under the National Security Council as a spy ship and was directing it directly through McNamara. And he came on the line and said, I want that GD ship going to the bottom. And so we connected it and showed how our government was criminal and involved with the Israelis. That isn't covering up for Israel. See, that's the type of unfair attacks we get, that if anybody had a brain, they would know. A film challenging and showing that Israel staged terror attacks is not a film covering up for Israel. And the people putting that out are, and we've caught the Southern Poverty Law Center and others over and over again. I mean, take that guy, Hal Turner. I mean, if that guy just radiates 2 seconds, you know he's one of them. How can people not see it and not know it? And they want to make criticism of Israel base, gutter, racist, vicious, to sound horrible, to scare people away from standing up against the corruption of Israel. They want to make it about the hatred of Jews. Instead of making it about the hatred of corruption. If we're against the Italian mafia, we're not against Italians. If we're against the Jewish mafia, we're not against Jews. If we are against any of these corrupt elites, it's because those governments are corrupt and bad, not because the people are bad. England is one of the most evil empires in the world. Some of the most evil ideas and systems came from there. The Brits are slaves to it, too. And so I don't mean to go off on a jag because that guy brings up, I'm sure, I bet you're doing really well. I hope you're doing really well. And in the final equation, I think it is important, as hard as I work and the work I do, that I drive safe cars and be able to buy a new pair of shoes every year and live in a house that's comfortable. But that isn't what I worship. That isn't what I'm about. That isn't what I'm into, baubles and trinkets and signets. And we need, as a movement, to get past the point of thinking it's bad for us to not just be able to pay our way with information, but we have to build up our movement, and that takes capital. And we have to be ready to get big Hollywood stars to come to our side. We have to get ready to get big politicians to come and join us, and industry people, and people in powerful positions, philosophers, and authors, and playwrights. We are winning. We are waking people up. We're We're doing something historical as so much of the world wakes up. And as 9/11 Truth has been so successful to lift the blinders on hundreds of fronts. That is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. And we should be so very proud of that. So I want you to support our sponsors. And the main sponsor is my books and videos that are waking people up. Go to Infowars.com, order the books, order the videos. I want you to get them and make copies and give them to people. I have to say not-for-profit, non-sale, because people will then take it, claim the copyright for themselves, and tell me I can't sell it. We've already had people try that. God, no good deed goes unpunished. Get them out to folks. Educate people. Take action. It's having an effect. People are ready to wake up like never before. And, yes, support the sponsors that we have on this radio show as well. Speaking of sponsors, who are the sponsors? I say firearms. I wish we had firearms sponsors. We don't. I say storable food. We get you good company for that. Now look, even the mainstream says it. I tell you, buy gold when it's $260 an ounce, when it's $400, $500, $800. They're artificially suppressing the paper market, while all the major mints in Europe and the U.S. and Canada, no more maple leafs, no more. Now it's eagles, not just the buffaloes. Now it's the British sovereigns. They're running out of gold. And so you bet I bring you a sponsor, which makes this network and this show possible.